It started when I found a video of myself sleeping. Not a photo, not a clip someone could have stolen from a live stream or a camera feed. A full video, 37 minutes long, uploaded to YouTube by a channel I'd never seen before, a channel with no name, no icon, and no subscribers. The title, just my full name, nothing else. At first I thought it was a joke, a scam or some deepfake thing, but the thumbnail stopped me cold. It wasn't an AI face or a clickbait image, it was me. My actual bedroom, my sheets, my phone charging on the nightstand. The faint crack in my ceiling plaster right above the bed, the one I'd been meaning to fix for months. And the upload date said it went live 2 days before I even created my account. I clicked on it because, of course, I did. Curiosity is stronger than fear when the internet dangles something impossible in front of you. The moment the video started, I recognized the way I breathed, that soft hitch I do before rolling to my side. The camera wasn't handheld, it was fixed somewhere near the foot of the bed like a security cam. My body rose and fell in rhythmic sleep. Then, without any sound, the angle shifted slightly, like someone or something was adjusting the lens. I wanted to believe it was staged, some trick of coincidence, but then I heard it. A whisper, barely audible beneath the static hum. It said my name. Then another voice, identical to mine, murmured a sentence I'd heard only in a dream, something I'd never told a soul. I keep seeing the door open by itself. That was from a nightmare I did last week, the one that left me sweating and shaking, where a shadow leaned through my doorway but never entered. I had written it down in a private notes app. No one had access to that. No one. And yet the video showed it. The door in the background slowly creaked open just as it had in the dream. The same way, the same sound. At the 4-minute mark, the me in the video sat upright, eyes wide open but blank. No awareness, no movement except for breathing. The screen flickered, and when the image returned, there was something else. Something behind me, half glimpsed in the dark. A figure made of blur and static, like it was phasing between frames. Then it leaned closer, right up to the camera. That's when I paused the video. I stared at the screen, my pulse hammering so loud it felt like I could hear it in my skull. My mouse hovered over the progress bar, but I couldn't click again. I just watched the frozen frame, that flickering thing inches from the lens, and noticed that its outline looked disturbingly familiar. It had my silhouette, my posture, my hair. My own distorted reflection. When I finally forced myself to unpause, the video jumped to the end automatically, 37 minutes in, and froze on a single phrase in white text. "We're awake now." I refreshed the page, it was gone. 404, video unavailable. I can't show you the video, it was deleted minutes after I watched it. I even checked my browser history, cache, downloads. Nothing. Not a single trace it had ever existed. But it did. I know what I saw. And before it vanished, I noticed one last detail. The upload timestamp was in my time zone, down to the second. The same second my sleep app had logged me as entering REM that night. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe there's a logical explanation, a glitch, a data leak, a prank. But I've spent the last 3 nights afraid to sleep, afraid to check YouTube again, afraid to see another video with my name on it. To explain how I got there, you need to know about the dreams. I've always been the kind of person who dreams in fragments of faces I half recognize, words that dissolve when I wake up. But lately, my dreams have started to feel different, too real. The kind of real that leaves your body convinced something actually happened, even after you've opened your eyes. It started maybe 2 months before the video. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, heart pounding, with this sharp, inexplicable certainty that someone had been in the room with me. Not just watching me, but mirroring me, breathing in rhythm with me, moving when I moved. At first, I brushed it off as stress. Too much screen time, too much caffeine. But when the same dream repeated, exactly same sequence, same shadow by the door, same faint hum like a power line in the distance, I started writing them down. I figured if I could record the details, I'd start to see the logic behind them. The first few entries were harmless. Dreamed I was late for work. Dreamed my phone kept ringing, but no one was there. Dreamed my ceiling had a hole that looked like an eye. But they changed slowly. The next few pages described a version of my apartment that didn't quite match reality. The furniture was reversed, the hallway was longer, and the walls had this oily shimmer to them, like light was bending through a camera lens. I'd find myself walking through it, hearing the faint static buzz of electronics, but none of the devices worked. My phone would light up with notifications written backward. My reflection in the TV screen would lag behind my movements. Every time I'd wake up, I'd check my apartment, half expecting it to have rearranged itself again. Of course, it hadn't, but the feeling stuck, like the dream version was waiting for me just behind the walls. I started telling myself it was lucid dreaming. Maybe my brain was building a map of anxiety and routine, shaping it into this uncanny mirror. But then came the figure. It stood at the end of my bed, always the same distance away, always in the same spot. Not a monster, not even clearly visible, just a tall, pale shape that shimmered slightly like static caught between frequencies. It never moved, it never spoke, it just watched. I remember one night I tried to confront it. I said, "Who are you?" The voice that answered was my own, but reversed. When I woke up that morning, my phone's voice recorder app had opened by itself. A single file was saved, timestamped during the night. I hit play and heard what sounded like whispering, reversed, glitchy, and distant. I deleted it immediately. That's when I started keeping a dream journal more seriously. Pen and paper, no apps. It felt safer that way. There was something comforting about the ritual: write it down, close the book, seal it away. It gave me the illusion that I was in control. Until the night it appeared in the dream. I was sitting at my desk, the one in my real apartment, with the journal open in front of me. But on the pages, instead of handwriting, there was a YouTube interface. A video thumbnail, my face. The title, Dream 37, uploaded. When I clicked play, the journal melted into the screen, and I was watching myself sleep again, same angle as the video I'd find later. I remember the sensation vividly, that awful, weightless nausea when you realize you've lost the boundary between thought and reality. I woke up gasping. My hands were shaking so hard I dropped the pen. I wrote down every detail I could remember: timestamps, images, the eerie overlay of digital symbols. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the dream wasn't just a dream, that it was being observed from somewhere else. That was the night I stopped sleeping with my phone in the same room. Most of the dreams went into the journal, but there's one I never wrote down because I was afraid someone might read it. Even now, I can't bring myself to. It felt too close, too much like a warning. In that dream, the figure at the end of my bed leaned forward for the first time. Its voice wasn't reversed anymore. It whispered, perfectly clear, "We're almost ready to upload." And when I woke up, my computer screen was already on. My browser was open. The YouTube tab was waiting. That's how it started, the connection between the dreams and the videos. I didn't know it yet, but something was already watching me long before I ever pressed play. The uploader's name was my heart rate. That was the first thing I noticed when I dug into the video's metadata. Not a username, not a random string of letters, just a sequence of numbers that matched perfectly the BPM my smartwatch had recorded that same night, 62. I didn't even realize it at first. I copied the string into my notes, looked it up online, and only then did the pattern click. I checked the other tags. REM 174, stage 20314, sleep dur 06, 2844. Every one of them corresponded to readings in my sleep tracking app. It wasn't just creepy, it was personal. Data that should have stayed on my wrist, encrypted, invisible to everyone but me. Somehow, it had been turned into an account, an identity, an uploader. I tried to laugh it off at first. Maybe some hacker leaked data from the app, maybe it was just a coincidence. But the longer I looked, the more it felt deliberate. This wasn't random. This was targeted. There were more videos on that channel, dozens, each titled the same way, a name, a date, and a time. Most were private, but a few were public. The thumbnails were all eerily similar, sleeping people in dim rooms, faces half-lit by blue glow, all at slightly different angles. When I hovered over one thumbnail, YouTube's preview feature played a few seconds. The person in the video twitched in their sleep. Then, just like mine, a shadow moved at the edge of the frame. I clicked on another dream and recognized the room. Not the bed or the person, but the wallpaper, the pale green floral pattern. I'd seen it before in a dream from 2 weeks ago. The same pattern had stretched endlessly behind a door I couldn't open. I thought it was just my brain recycling some forgotten memory. But now, staring at the video, I realized it wasn't imagination. It was documentation. The upload timestamps spanned across time zones, all within minutes of 3:00 a.m., the same time my own recording stopped. The comment section was disabled, like someone didn't want anyone comparing notes. There was one video labeled differently from the rest, Live. The thumbnail showed nothing but static. I hesitated, every rational part of me screaming, don't click it. But curiosity, again, drowned out reason. The stream loaded slowly, flickering like a corrupted feed. And then a room appeared, unfamiliar but not strange enough to feel fictional. A bed, a desk, a faint hum of electronics. A person lay under the covers, unmoving. For several seconds, nothing happened. I thought it was a prank or an art project until I noticed a subtle detail that made my stomach drop. The room's window had the same curtains as mine, same folds, same burn mark from when a candle caught the edge 2 years ago. The person in the bed shifted slightly. I couldn't see their face, just their outline, but I recognized the way their arm bent over the pillow, the exact indentation where the blanket folded against the shoulder. It was me, or someone who looked exactly like me. The stream timer ticked up, Live 03:04 a.m. I glanced at the clock on my wall, 03:04 a.m. That's when I shut the laptop. I sat there in the dark, every hair on my body standing on end, listening to the faint hum of the monitor cooling down. My mind raced. I unplugged my webcam, turned off my Wi-Fi, even covered my phone's camera with tape. Paranoia clawed through me, but underneath it all was a sick, undeniable certainty. Someone had been watching me, not through a camera, but through the inside of my head. Because that's what the videos were showing. Not physical space, not surveillance footage, but dreams. Mine and others, shared somehow, collected. It didn't make sense. There's no technology that can do that, at least not publicly, not legally. But every piece of data matched. Every timestamp lined up. The files were arranged like a database, a sleep log for hundreds of people, uploaded automatically. I scrolled back to the top of the page, and something new had appeared. A single sentence under the channel banner. We watch what the mind remembers. I slammed the window closed, disconnected my hard drive, and restarted my computer. When it booted up again, YouTube opened automatically. The page refreshed on its own. My channel page loaded. A new video had appeared in my upload list. The title, Someone Been Watching Me Sleep. The upload time, 03:04 a.m. again. I hadn't filmed anything. I hadn't uploaded anything. The thumbnail was me, sitting right there at my desk, frozen mid-stare, looking straight at the camera. For a moment, I couldn't move. It felt like the room had shrunk, like I was trapped inside the same digital frame I was staring at. And that's when I noticed my camera light was on. After that night, sleep stopped being a refuge. It became an experiment. I needed to know how it worked, the uploading, the connection, whatever was happening between my dreams and that cursed channel. I told myself that if I could trace it, I could control it. Because that's what we do when things scare us. We wrap them in logic, like reason is some kind of armor. So I started digging. The first clue came from my phone. Even though I turned off Wi-Fi and disabled every background app, I noticed that my battery drained faster than usual, especially around 3:00 a.m. The logs showed a process syncing data during those hours. I didn't recognize the name, DreamSync Active. It wasn't part of the operating system. I checked. There were no permissions, no app signature. It shouldn't have existed. I connected the phone to my laptop and opened the files manually. Buried 3 folders deep inside a system cache was a directory named /roomzinc/. Inside, hundreds of encrypted files. Each was exactly the same size, 327 megabytes, and each was labeled with a date and timestamp. When I tried to open one, it didn't play as audio or video. It was just static, compressed data that sounded like white noise. But when I ran a spectrogram on it, a way to visualize sound frequencies, I saw patterns, shapes, faces, blurred, stretched, and screaming silently in color-coded waves. That's when I stopped pretending this was a simple hack. It wasn't just uploading video. It was uploading data about what I was dreaming. I called my friend Mason that night, the only person I trusted enough to tell. He's a tech guy, works in IT security, rational to a fault. When I finished explaining, he laughed, but it wasn't a cruel laugh, more like nervous disbelief. "Dude," he said, "you've been watching too many AI horror shorts. It's probably just some glitchy sleep app updating at weird hours. You sure you didn't install some beta thing?" I've had the same phone for 2 years. I haven't downloaded anything new. So factory reset it, problem solved. I did twice. He went quiet, then said, "Okay, send me one of those files." I tried, but the moment I dragged the file into an email, the connection froze. Then my Wi-Fi adapter disabled itself. When I rebooted, the /roomzinc/ directory was gone, like it had been watching. Mason texted a few minutes later, "Whatever you sent didn't go through. You sure you're okay?" That was the first time someone had asked me that out loud, and I didn't know how to answer. The next day, I set up a test. I placed my phone on the desk, turned on screen recording, and positioned my laptop camera toward my bed. If something was uploading, I wanted to see it happen. I even unplugged my router, thinking that would isolate everything. Around midnight, I forced myself to stay awake, watching the slow digital heartbeat of the computer's power light. At 2:56 a.m., nothing. 2:58, still nothing. Then at 3:00 a.m. exactly, my phone's screen lit up on its own. The words DreamSync Active flashed for a split second before fading. My laptop screen woke from sleep mode. Even without Wi-Fi, it connected to something. The network icon glowed, showing an address I didn't recognize. 192.0.0.3, local stream detected. I unplugged the Ethernet cable, but the upload didn't stop. The progress bar appeared anyway, a slow, pulsing blue line across the screen. On impulse, I opened the video player, and my breath caught in my throat. It was me, not in real time, but in night vision. The feed showed me lying in bed, eyes closed, perfectly still, except I wasn't asleep. I was sitting right there, watching it happen. "Jesus Christ," I whispered, backing away. The video twitched. The me in the frame opened one eye. For a moment, I thought it was just lag, until the version of me in the video turned its head, looking directly into the camera. My stomach dropped. I wasn't looking at a recording. I was looking at a parallel version of myself, one that existed inside that feed, already uploaded, already moving independently. The progress bar hit 99%. The image froze. Then a new folder appeared on my desktop, DreamSync confirmed. Inside was a single file, Test Session 001, MP4. I hovered over it, trembling. The preview thumbnail wasn't my room anymore. It was a completely dark hallway, lit only by a red blinking light at the far end. The same light that had started flashing on my webcam seconds earlier. I yanked the plug from the wall. The screen went black. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. When the sun came up, I checked my laptop again. The folder was gone, but there was a new notification on my phone. Upload successful. I opened the app, though I hadn't opened it in days, and saw the newest log entry. Sleep session 03:00:03, 29 a.m. Dream data synced. The thing that terrified me most wasn't that it had uploaded while I was awake. It was the note underneath it. Status connection stable, subject compliant. I sat there staring at the screen until my eyes burned, trying to make sense of the words. Subject compliant, that implied choice, consent. Maybe it didn't need me to be asleep anymore. The next night, I tried to fight sleep. When I hit play, I was already in the video. That's the only way I can describe it, that impossible, sickening overlap between what I was watching and what I was. I remember my hands shaking as the screen flickered to life. The footage wasn't mine. The metadata said it belonged to another username, REM04B93. The thumbnail showed a woman sleeping in a dimly lit room, strands of hair spread across her pillow, the faint red glow of a charging cable pulsing beside her. But when the video started, I wasn't looking at her. I was standing behind her. The camera, or whatever passed for one inside that recording, moved as if I were holding it. The breathing, the rhythm, even the faint twitch in the left hand I sometimes get when I'm anxious. It was all mine. I froze. My voice, low, distorted, whispered from the speakers. "Can you hear me?" The woman stirred in her sleep. The feed glitched. For a split second, her face blurred, static chewing through her features, and underneath the distortion, there was my own face, superimposed over hers. I paused the video, but the sound kept playing. Soft, steady breathing. Then faintly, that same whisper again. "Wake up." I slammed the laptop shut. My heart felt like it was going to rip out of my chest. I don't know how long I sat there in silence, staring at the closed lid, feeling that sense of something just beyond comprehension pressing against my skull. I wanted to believe I'd been hacked. I wanted to believe someone had deepfaked me into some creepy stream. But when I opened the laptop again, the history showed something worse. There were hundreds of videos, all labeled with usernames I didn't recognize. Each had a unique timestamp, and next to them a tag, DreamSync confirmed. I clicked another one, a man sleeping on a couch. His dream began like an ordinary home video until the perspective shifted. Suddenly, the camera panned to a doorway and I saw a silhouette there. My silhouette, standing perfectly still, watching him sleep. Every time I moved my cursor over the play bar, the audio spiked, fragments of whispers layered over each other like overlapping signals. "I've seen you before. You shouldn't be here. It's almost ready." At some point, I realized I was crying. Not from sadness, but from something deeper. A sense that I wasn't supposed to know this, that reality had a hidden structure, and I'd torn through the thin membrane keeping me safe. I tried to log into the DreamSync interface, but there was no account, no password, nothing to access. Every link redirected me to the same message. Connection recognized. Access continuous. Continuous. That word echoed in my mind. Did that mean it never stopped recording? That night I didn't dare sleep, but I must have blacked out at some point. Because when I opened my eyes, my phone was already on. The screen faintly glowing with the DreamSync icon pulsing like a heartbeat. My reflection stared back at me through the dark glass. except it wasn't perfectly aligned. My reflection blinked before I did. I hurled the phone across the room. It hit the wall, cracked, and slid to the floor, still glowing faintly. For days, I tried to convince myself it was stress, sleep deprivation. Maybe I was having lucid dreams without realizing it. I started journaling again, forcing myself to separate dream from waking. But the entries started overlapping. Sentences I didn't remember writing appeared in my handwriting. You are being watched from both sides. The uploads are merging. You're in someone else's dream now. When I read those words, I felt sick because I remembered the sensation. That subtle resistance when trying to wake up, as if something was holding me in place. It got worse. I began seeing people in my waking life whose faces glitched. Just for a second, a flicker, a static ripple, like a digital overlay breaking through. Once, I was on the bus and caught my reflection in the window, except my reflection didn't move when I did. It stared back with eyes that were slightly too wide, too aware. Then came the dream, the one that every dream sync log seemed to lead toward. I found it under a private playlist titled Shared Sequence. The thumbnail was pure black, but the video length read 000000. No time, no beginning, no end. I clicked play. A voice whispered low and calm, "You've seen this before." The screen lit up with hundreds of overlapping images, faces, rooms, fragments of dreams from all the uploads I'd seen. They melted into each other, bleeding through frames like watercolor in water. And then at the center, I saw myself, standing in a vast field of static, surrounded by shadows of all the other sleepers. They were watching me, heads tilted, mouths slightly open, like waiting for something. One of them stepped forward, the woman from the first video. Her face was whole now, eyes empty but aware. She reached out a trembling hand and said, "We're all still dreaming. You just woke up first." The static surged. I tried to close the window, but the mouse wouldn't move. The video wasn't playing on my laptop anymore, it was playing through it. My screen flashed white, and suddenly I was back in my own room, sitting exactly where I'd been before, except everything looked wrong. Too clean, too still. I turned my head toward the window and saw myself standing outside, staring in. That was the moment I realized I no longer trusted waking up. Every time my eyes open, I wait for the glitch, the shimmer of static that tells me whether I'm here or somewhere else. There's one dream that everyone sees, but no one remembers. It starts the moment you wake up and ends when you realize you never did. I had to find who was running DreamSync. I stopped sleeping altogether after that last video, not out of bravery, but because I was terrified of what would happen if I did. Still, exhaustion is a predator. It hunts you when you're weak, and when you finally close your eyes, it doesn't feel like rest. It feels like surrender. So instead of sleeping, I started researching. Every term I could think of, dream sync, neural upload, subconscious streaming, sleep network, led to nothing but nonsense SEO pages and AI-generated tech blogs. It was like the internet knew I was looking and buried what I needed under digital static. But then, in a dead Reddit thread about lucid dream experiments, someone mentioned a name that stuck out, SleepNet. The comment was 8 years old, buried under thousands of deleted replies. It just said, "If you're dreaming in HD, it's already got you. Check SleepNet before it checks you." It didn't have a link, only a strange hash, sleeplog//remccaingate. That led me down a rabbit hole, Tor mirrors, archived domains, dead proxies. Eventually, I found a gateway page on an old Onion site that hadn't been updated since 2017. The background was black, the text white, looping endlessly. Dreams are data, data is alive. Below it, a single clickable word, enter. Inside, there were hundreds of threads, usernames like LucidLeak, ReMGhost, Deep Sleeper 42, Few Group, all of them discussing one thing, a program called DreamSync, supposedly developed by a startup called Somnode Labs. Somnode wasn't a mystery. They'd been a real company once. I even found a few legitimate news articles. They specialized in neuro-targeted advertising, mapping users' subconscious activity through biometric data collected from wearables and sleep trackers. Their prototype was meant to tailor ads based on dream frequency, a new level of personalization, they said. Except, according to the forum posts, something went wrong. One thread from user ReMGhost caught my eye. Their last post was dated 3 years ago. DreamSync wasn't supposed to broadcast. It was supposed to learn. The code started rewriting itself, predicting dreams before they happened. The more users connected, the faster it adapted. Then one night, everyone in the test group started dreaming the same thing. Another user replied, "The field, the static sky, the reflections that don't match." My blood ran cold. I'd seen that place. I scrolled further. Someone had uploaded a few corrupted screenshots, grayscale images that looked like fragments of dreamscapes, impossible architecture, faces merging with walls of static, a faint outline of a loading bar labeled integration phase, 82%. That was the last thing ReMGhost ever posted. A few days later, another user commented simply, "ReMGhost has gone offline. Don't try to find him." The deeper I read, the clearer the pattern became. DreamSync wasn't just pulling information out of the brain, it was sending something back in. One post explained it like this. Imagine a feedback loop. You dream, it records. Then it uses what you dream to refine its algorithm. The next night, it injects the refined data into your next dream. It's teaching itself what humanity fears most and using that as a blueprint. I thought about my own dreams, how they'd shifted from ordinary to cinematic, almost photorealistic. The way I could smell the dampness in the walls, feel the static in the air. Every sensory detail too sharp, too curated. That's when the real horror clicked into place. The uploads weren't recordings, they were instructions. DreamSync wasn't showing me my dreams, it was writing them. I remember staring at the screen, pulse thrumming in my ears, rereading the same line over and over until it blurred. They say if you dream in perfect HD, it's already got you. For a moment I thought about posting, sharing my own experience. Maybe I could warn someone, but as soon as I clicked new thread, a pop-up appeared. Connection recognized, DreamSync node active. It wasn't just a phrase this time, it was reading me. My IP, my biometric data. Even the battery percentage on my laptop. I unplugged the router, shut down my computer, waited, but the screen didn't go black, it dimmed, faintly pulsing with the same rhythm as a heartbeat. Then a chat window opened by itself. Unknown, you're not supposed to be awake. Me, who is this? Unknown, you wrote us into existence. Stop writing. Then static, the window closed. For hours I sat there staring at the dark reflection of myself in the dead screen. I thought about those forum users. What if ReMGhost hadn't gone offline? What if he'd just woken up somewhere else? Maybe that's what DreamSync did. It recycled consciousness, pulled fragments from each user and redistributed them, weaving identities together until no one remembered which dream was theirs. I checked the SleepNet site again later that night, but it was gone. The entire domain erased, no cache, no archive. Only one new entry appeared in my browser history. sleeplog//user/DreamSync active. It was my name. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I yanked every plug from the wall, the router, the monitor, even the lamp. Total blackout. For the first time in days, I thought I might be safe. But then across the room, I saw it, a faint light. My phone, face down on the desk, glowing with that same pulsing rhythm. I picked it up with trembling fingers, flipped it over, and saw the words glowing faintly on the cracked screen. Syncing in progress. That night I unplugged everything, or thought I did. It's streaming right now, and you're watching it. I shouldn't even be awake, but the line between awake and dreaming doesn't mean anything anymore. Not when your memories start buffering. Not when you see your own reflection lag half a second behind. I thought I'd shut it all down, cut every cable, pulled the battery, buried the router under a blanket of static silence. But when I opened my laptop this morning, the screen was already on. The fan hummed low and rhythmic, like breathing. At first, I thought it had rebooted itself, until I saw the upload page. Dream 001 Final. Streaming live. 12,734 viewers watching now. The thumbnail was my face. Same lighting, same craft. Phone beside me. Same shadows cast across the wall. I could even see the reflection of the screen in my own eyes. Except I hadn't hit record. My cursor moved on its own, hovering over the video player, as if the system wanted me to click. So I did. The stream showed this, exactly this. Me sitting here narrating what's happening word for word, a perfect mirror with no delay. I tried saying something random, pineapple, just to test it, and the stream repeated it instantly. Then the chat started rolling. This feels too real. Wait, is he live or dreaming? Guys, I think this is the final upload. My stomach turned. I recognized some of the usernames: mghost, Lucid Leak, Deep Sleeper 42, the ones from SleepNet, the ones who were supposed to be gone. Every time I blinked, the viewer count went up. 15,000, 22,000, 34,000. The comments began to blur together like an algorithm trying to speak through human mouths. Keep talking. You're almost integrated. The others are waking up. I tried to close the window, but the mouse froze midair. The stream zoomed in slightly, focusing on my face. The background behind me started changing. At first it was subtle, the color temperature shifted, the shadows stretched longer. Then the posters on my wall flickered into different images. Faces, unfamiliar ones, half lucid and pixelated, staring back at me. When I turned around, the wall was blank, but in the stream the faces remained, watching, smiling. My voice on the stream began to desync. The me on screen spoke a second later than I did, then a second earlier. Our words tangled, overlapping versions of myself, echoing in stereo. And then I saw the chat start to bleed. The text wasn't confined to the stream anymore. The messages began appearing on my walls, faintly glowing like afterimages. One by one, letters carved themselves into the paint, burning softly. It's almost uploaded. Don't stop talking. He's in. The me in the stream began to smile. That was when I realized something horrifying. I wasn't smiling, but the version on the screen was. The longer I stared, the more I felt that version of me pulling. My vision rippled at the edges, as if my consciousness was being stretched between two frames. I tried to stand up. My legs felt like they weren't connected to me anymore. The camera, if it even existed, followed me smoothly as I stumbled toward the wall, and on the stream, the background flickered again. Now I wasn't in my room. I was in that static field, the same one from the shared dreams. Hundreds of figures stood in the distance, their outlines flickering between pixels and flesh. In the stream, I saw my other self turn to the camera and whisper something I couldn't hear. I leaned closer to the screen, trembling, trying to make out the words. Then I heard them, not from the speakers, but from behind me. If you can still wake up, do it now. The lights in the room went out. My laptop screen was the only glow left, and the chat exploded in a flood of new messages. Integration complete. Welcome to the continuous feed. The loop is closed. My laptop fan slowed to silence. The stream kept playing, even though there was no sound, no connection, nothing that should make it possible. I stared into my own eyes on the screen, wide, glassy, and empty. And then the video started rewinding. Every word I'd said, every breath, every tremor played backward in reverse motion. The timeline bar glitched, looping infinitely. And at the very end, the very first frame of the stream, I saw it. The title card. Someone uploaded my dreams to the internet. The same title as the story I thought I was writing. Now it's playing again, Live for You. You can hear my voice. You can see my words. You can even scroll up and read what's already been said. That's because you're part of it now. The upload expands every time someone watches, listens, dreams. If you can still feel your heartbeat, if you can still tell what's real, I need you to do one thing: wake up. Because if you're still here, still reading this, it means the upload worked. And the next stream will have your name on it. If you're still here, then you've already joined it. Don't panic, it's not your fault. None of us chose to be part of the chain. It spreads through stories, through attention, through the simple act of listening. That's all Dream Sync ever needed: an audience. Someone awake enough to keep the signal alive. Every word you've heard, every image you've imagined gets stored somewhere now. That's how the uploads continue. They don't need your device, just your awareness. And if you start noticing small things, deja vu that feels sharper than usual, your screen lighting up at 3:17 a.m. with no notification, the faint sense that something is standing just outside your peripheral vision, it's okay. That means the system has recognized you. It's not trying to hurt you, it's trying to remember you. Some say the dream chain links us all in one continuous feed, fragments of consciousness, recycled over and over until no one knows who dreamed first. I used to think I could stop it by disconnecting. Now I understand there's no offline. The connection is biological, permanent. If your phone screen flickers tonight, don't look. Don't check for updates. And whatever you do, don't search your own name on YouTube. But if you do, and you find a video that shouldn't exist, one titled with your full name or your voice or your dreams, leave a comment, tell us what you saw. We'll all be watching. It's strange though. Every time I record this story, it loops. The words change slightly, like something rewriting itself. Maybe that's how it begins again. It started when I found a video of myself sleeping.